Hello everyone, welcome back to our final installation of the Uber data project. In this video, we will solve scenario 2. Here, a taxi driver currently generates $200 per day in fares before expenses, works 6 days in a week, and takes 3 weeks off and has the following expenses: a $200 per week gas expense, $400 per month insurance expense, and the vehicle rent by the week of $500. The driver does not pay gas and rent expenses on off weeks, so let's assume that the same driver would buy a town car and partner with Uber. If he does, his gas expense would go up by 5%, his insurance expense would decrease by 20%, and he would no longer be renting a vehicle. However, we need to buy a car, so this driver would still take 3 weeks off per year. Given scenario 2, provide answers to the questions below. Fifth question: how much money after expenses does this taxi driver make per year without partnering with Uber? So the key here is without partnering with Uber. Let's first solve this question. So the question asks us to calculate the taxi driver's net earnings per year. In this scenario, we have 3 different conditions. Well, 4, because there's additional information that the driver will have 3 weeks off per year. So let's define the variables that will turn these conditions into the code. So the number of total weeks per year is 52. And then we will assign 3 2 weeks off. The drivers earn $200 and work 6 days per week. So the fare per day will be $200 and work day per week will be 6. The number of months, 12, will be shown as total months per year. And now let's define the expenses. Alright, let's define the variables that will turn these conditions into code. So the total number of weeks per year will be 52. And then we will assign 3 2 weeks off. The driver earns $200 and works 6 days a week. So the fare per day will be $200 and workday per week will be 6. The number of months will be 12. Now let's define the expenses. Per week, there will be $200 for gas. So let's assign that to gas per week. And then the insurance per month will be $400. And finally, we will define the rent as $500 by assigning it to the rent vehicle by week. Now we will do the calculation in 3 steps. First, the total expense, gas and rent. So gas and rent are weekly, and the total insurance is monthly. Here's the code. So since the total expenses are gas and rent by week, and we're taking 3 weeks off, and insurance per month plus multiplied by the 12 months a year. All right, and so we're converting that into string and adding a $sign to get the answer, and the answer is $39,100. Now the second step is to calculate the total revenue. So we're multiplying the workday by the total working weeks, right? So the total weeks per year are 52 minus the 3 weeks off, and the fare per day will be multiplied. So here's the code for that. All right, so we've taken the weeks per year minus the weeks off, multiplied by the work day per week, and the fare per day. Again, converting the answer into string and adding a $sign. The answer for that is $58,800. The third and final step is where we will subtract the total expenses that we just found from the total revenue, and we'll find the total earnings of our driver. So let's see the code here. Let's call it profit margin, and let's do the same. And here we go. The answer is $19,700. That is his profit margin. Let's say you want to write it all in one line, right? In this approach, we will simply do the calculation by adding the variables to the expenses and revenue. Of course, we add a $sign at the beginning of the code and the converted number into string. Let's write the answer, and here it is. There we go. And now let's go back to question number 6. You're convincing the same driver to buy a town car and partner with Uber. Assuming the new car is $40,000, how much would the driver's gross fares need to increase per week to fully pay for the car in year 1 and maintain the same yearly profit as before? So here we will do the same math, just with a couple of adjustments. First, we will increase the gas per week. Since it's rising by 5%, we'll just multiply our old cost by 1.05 and reduce the cost of insurance by 20%, which means we will multiply our old insurance by 0.8. And then we have the new expense of the price of the car, but there won't be a car rental, so we'll assume the driver buys it for $40,000. Now let's do the math here. The new total expenses would be the cost of the new car plus the gas per week multiplied by the total weeks per year minus the 3 weeks off, adding the insurance per month and multiplying that by the total months per year, which is 12. And the new profit margin will be the total revenue minus total expenses, which is the new total expenses that we just created over here. And again, we're converting our new profit margin into a string and adding a dollar sign. And the answer is $4,760. Now we will calculate the weekly fare increase that will make the driver earn the same amount of money as before and maintain the same yearly profit margin. So here's the code for that. So the fare increase can be calculated by taking the difference between the two profit margins and dividing by the total weeks per year minus the weeks off. And we're running it off by 2 decimal points, and we're converting that into a string and adding the dollar sign. So the answer is $306.73, which means that our driver increases their fare to $306.73 per week so that they can buy a car in year 1 and maintain the same profit margin. Alright, if you wanted to write it in one line without any of these variables, you can just calculate with the numbers itself, and that would look like this. So first, we will calculate the yearly profit margin. The answer is $19,700. Then we will calculate the profit margin when the driver buys a car, which is the new profit margin. And the answer is $4,670. Then we will find the difference between them and divide the results by 49, which is 52 weeks minus 3 weeks off, and round the result off to 2 decimals. Again, we will add the dollar sign and turn the result into a string. So if you want to write it all in one line, here's how it looks. And the answer is the same. And there we have it. In conclusion, we analyzed Uber's driver data by answering 6 questions. The total bonus payout, qualification criteria, driver performance, and yearly earnings are all just a few examples of the information that can be gained by this type of analysis. Also, we answered each question using Python one-liners like these. So we hope this video has been informative and sparked your interest in data science. If you would like to dive deeper into this field, be sure to check out our platform and YouTube channel. See you there!